So my mind is going, little cray. Why, you may ask? Well, morning. I'm always a bright light in the morning. And coffee. So I was thinking about YouTube videos for the writing series. And there's one, I do have a book on writing. Fascinating, by the way. On creative writing, Linda David. It's online. I think it's $10. I don't talk about it in the book, but there's some things I am going off script with the videos, talking more about different things. The thing I want to talk about now is: are you about your stories? Now, this is a question that you can ask a group. I think it's a good question to ask a writer's group. Are you your stories? Arguments can be made both ways. I mean, I write mysteries, murder mysteries. I have never murdered anyone. I'm not taking the fifth. I'm just telling you, I never murdered anyone. I've never forged documents. Never. I never forged documents. I never. I'm not a good pool player. Just not good at it. So I write about those things, but I'm not really those things. So I would say no, I'm not about my fiction. I'm a very creative person, and I do research, and I'm just a wordsmith, and that's what I am. It's not about me. It's about my creativity. My position in reality is my writing is all about me. It's all about me. Even though there's circumstances, vehicles that I use to maybe be the magician behind the curtain. Wizard of Oz, fantastic story. The story is all about me. The motivations of my characters, the theme of my stories. And I think taking ownership of your story, you don't have to tell people, oh, this is me, this is my story, this is all about me. People don't really care. But it's a way of talking about yourself, or getting, or just not even talking about yourself. It's a way of sort of self-counseling when you write. And it's fiction. We're not talking about nonfiction, we're talking about fiction. It's kind of like working out issues that you may have. And it's all metaphor in many ways. Metaphor. And I don't think you realize it until I realize it very clearly that my writing is about me. I've asked many writers if writing is about them, and they're adamant saying that it's not. But I don't think that's possible. Because it's such a personal adventure, such a personal journey telling fiction. And it's not about the physical aspect, the actual dialogue, the actual setting, the actual even story goal may be different. But it's that thought process that we all have before we actually, while we're writing the story. What we're saying about our characters and what we're really saying about ourselves. So it's all a big metaphor about who we are. And I think if you have written a novel, or writing a novel, or about to think about writing a novel, you can ask yourself, why am I having this in my novel? Why is this person behaving this way? Why am I making this happen? Why am I making something else happen? And you'll find it has a lot to do with who you are as a person. Now that's a fine thing. I mean, it's so veiled in metaphor and behind the veil that no one would really notice. I mean, no one would say, "Oh, this is you," unless it's maybe more of a memoir. The thing is, you shouldn't run away from that. If you're aware of that, you should enjoy that. You should be proud of that. You don't have to tell people it's about you in a lot of ways, but you should grab onto that because you're unique and you shouldn't shy away from it being about you. And maybe it'll even question, maybe it'll make you even more you. And maybe it'll give you ideas of how to change your life uh, in some ways. The fiction writing, I mean, there are readers who accept fiction, love fiction, and of course that's how you get the notoriety. People love your work. But there is a whole other aspect to writing that is deeply personal, and that is, I think, for myself, because I'm not a big seller of my novels, and I'm not a very good marketer. That's my motivation to write, is to write, to figure myself out, because I'm very confusing to myself. I think we all are, you know. So embrace who you are, and take ownership of it. Not necessarily to other people, but take ownership of it. Ownership of it, so you can make it more yours and make it more unique. And that's what makes stories different, and that makes it interesting to readers. So storytellers are about, it's about telling stories, their own stories. And of course it's the human condition of telling a story. But I think writers need to embrace that and not step back from it and just say, well, that's just a character. Well, that's just, oh, that was my last book. That wasn't very good. Oh, no, don't ever say that, I mean, there may be all some technical issues that you could clean up, but, you should be proud that you're doing a book and proud you're telling a story. Because in that is a lot of self-discovery. And that's all I got to say about that. Stand proud. Write your story. Okay, I've decided to show a different part of my living room. I'm in the midst of doing many things, which I always do. So I decided to show my lady with a hat. I mean, that's sort of normal, even though there's a lot of stuff up there. I'm in the middle of making product artwork for the farmer's market coming up in 2 months. So the place is a sty, just a total sty. And if I were to show you my living room, I don't know, you'd probably get nauseous or something. It's like, oh, this is disgusting. There's no condo action going here. It's what, Marie Kondo or Maria Kondo? I need to call that girl. Have a great day.